Good morning. It's earlier today than it was the last couple of times I did this. It's 9:21 a.m. February 16th, 2021. You know, the electricity came on earlier this morning. It's still on. It's been on for about an hour and a half. It may stay on for a while. Something happened when it came on. It did this thing. They're making lady wells. I think what happened was is whatever Chevron set up with San Francisco, they wanted to bring it back down south. Go through a little resiliency training, I guess. Vulnerabilitize the mouthy ones. And try to give us lady wells that somebody else gets to take a sip out of and then tells us how much they like our cup. Is that the shit they hooked up in the Golan? Is that part of that venture between Israel and the gas and oil exploration in northern Israel? You know, when Halliburton is going to go out there and work with some guys around gas and oil exploration in the Golan, and then here in Texas, those Christian girls got the Boko Haram treatment, and now all of us have been converted to Muslims. Because the good little Muslim girl knows that when the old man across from her talks about how much he likes her cup, she's supposed to sit there all submissive, you know, because she's a slave to Allah. And what? Let him talk about whatever is supposed to be the derivative he's hooking up in her ass that day? And she got all these other things going on she could be doing, but that's not fucking important. She looks nice. He likes her container. That cup looks good. Take a fucking sip. Don't say anything when I'm fucking licking your clit across the fucking table from you. Because when I lick it, somebody in my network is going to get royalties on me tapping your well. Is that what you fucking set up? Is that why you fucking knocked out the electricity just long enough to reset the grid? Because now we've all been converted? That's what I fucking heard when you fucking brought the electricity back on. No, you won't let us on the network yet. There's all this stuff that's posting. All these transactions that are clearing. It's you set up on a bunch of accounts you were running while we didn't have the access to check on them ourselves. Some of us still got that cognizability. Now I know we're supposed to demonstrate our loyalty by allowing you to flag our fucking junk and then let somebody else claim production, right? That's why you only give us a certain number of people to talk to within a certain context. We have to stand far enough away. You know what a 6-foot clearing distance is? Oh, I mean, I guess it depends on how many fucking fire trucks you see running by the day before, huh? This is what you fucking did. This is what you fucking did yesterday. And the thing is, there's a whole bunch of other people in Dallas right now. I believe, especially if they've been here a while, they already know. You do this periodically, don't you? Now you're trying to what? Streamline? You're trying to automate? Nobody fucking says anything. Because you've got a premium on what we're actually allowed to verbally say. Because that shit's already hooked up to what? Whoever you let brand us? And then we only get to have conversations with people that got the fucking crypto hooked up to whoever's gonna fucking ching up the fucking royalties? Y'all motherfuckers got 30 fucking days to get the fuck out of Texas. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're not playing this little fucking old timers that fucking thought that for 40 fucking years they could traffic their own daughters and then just swap them out when retirement came. You're not getting away with this, assholes. Get the fuck out of Texas. Get the fuck out of all those other places. You try to put some fake flag on it and tell the bitch to shut up while you try to claim her through your eminent domain. I don't fucking think so. Now at some point the network's gonna fucking come back up. And you're gonna have to deal with the implications of what it meant that you intentionally and willfully engaged in this completely heinous fucking scheme and decided you would defame and deface people so that you could just convince people to shut up and process all that dirty illicit shit you got going on people. That is fucking horrible. How young did you assholes go? How fucking young did you guys go with that fucking new well tap you did yesterday? That girl sitting across from me, how old was she? How fucking old was she? Was she even old enough to fucking be in puberty yet, assholes? I don't fucking think she was. You're pissed, aren't you? You harvested a lot of good hormones from a lot of good ladies, and you expected to be able to distribute that shit, but you fucked up the stock, and now you ain't got any left. And because you tapped those little girls too fucking young, they're not gonna be able to produce hormones like that again, are they? Yeah, you're in a big fucking clusterfuck, aren't you? And you're not getting away with it. But, I digress. We have some business. I mean, I gotta finish what I started. And we're only on fact fucking 2. I mean, 3. We're on fact 3. Let's see what we got today. Fallacy. The right of Jews to national restoration in Palestine was acknowledged by the Balfour Declaration. Israel's Declaration of Independence, 1948. The Balfour Declaration deliberately did not endorse establishment of a Jewish nation. The declaration was contained in a letter sent by British Foreign Secretary Arthur James Balfour to Lord Rothschild, President of the British Zionist Federation, on November 2nd, 1917. The declaration had been approved by the British cabinet and said, quote, His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country, end quote. In 1939, a British white paper specifically stated that Great Britain, quote, could not have intended Palestine should be converted into a Jewish state against the will of the Arab population of the country, end quote. Well, that's all you get for that one there. You know, Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to the King of England prior to the Constitutional Convention. You ever read it? It's not the same as what they want you to believe Thomas Jefferson stood for and what the legacy is supposed to be. Did you ever read any of the information Thomas Jefferson put out when he was the Secretary of the State, especially during the First Bank of the United States? It was more than known at the time that that was a very bad fucking idea. When it came time to re-up, they didn't do it. Did they just think they'd wait 20 years and gaslight a bunch of people and backdate the stock so that when somebody came up with the same stupid fucking idea again, they'd be able to get it through? What happened to the 12th Amendment? Why, when Thomas Jefferson was the Secretary of the State of the United States of America, was what is now reflected as the 10th Amendment, identified by him as the 12th? You wanna fucking try to tap my fucking well again? I don't fucking think so. I hope you remember where you are and who you are, because we're only on day 3.